my way of doing it. That's how I like to do it. Okay. Likewise, how I teach. I'm much more visual. I'm much more kinesthetic. I have no problem pulling a child out of the water and going, hey, we got to do this, and manipulating their body. That is how I am good at coaching that way. I am not as good as a describing or talking through a breaststroke sequence. I'm much better at showing or telling. Showing or having someone visually explain what to do. So just like students have a way of learning, understand that you have a way of teaching.
Jadi berhubungan dengan tadi ya, cara kita belajar itu ada dua tadi ya yang dijelaskan. Ya pertama, kalau coach Chat ini senangnya dia lebih cepat dengan visual, dengan melihat ya, dan juga yang keduanya dengan bersentuhan tadi. Dia nggak akan segan-segan dalam latihan, stop kemudian narik anak atletnya untuk diperagakan di atas saya. Itu lebih cepat. Jadi bukan yang banyak berbicara ya, tapi itu metodenya dari coach Chat dalam mengajar.
Jadi malah lebih efektif dalam ini. Jadi begitu ada kesalahan, langsung.
This is a study from the University of Texas. It shows that people remember 20% of what they hear, 30% of what they see, 70% of what they see and hear, but 90% of what they do and say. I know that's a little confusing, but the point is, it's one thing to sit here and say, this is how you swim great freestyle. It's totally another way to have someone in the water doing it, showing them, correcting them. So again, you want to always try and find the best way to maximize your coaching. So it's not just talking. It's not just doing something visually. It's a combination of all these things that will provide the most effective way of teaching.
Oke, jadi ini survei dari University of Texas ya kan. Orang itu akan ingat cuma 20% pada saat dikasih tahu. Ya, dengan melihat dia 30%. Lakukan dua-duanya 70%, melihat dan mendengar. Tapi katanya tadi ada penjelasan lagi 90% kalau melakukan ya. Jadi itu kombinasi dari cara anak-anak itu untuk mengingat.
So when we're talking about, and we'll talk about this a lot more in level 2, when it comes to stroke technique, okay, you're trying to build a new habit. Okay, it's very hard to remove the old habit. It's much easier to fix the new habit, create a new habit, and make that habit stronger than the old habit. Just a little tidbit there, yes.
Ya, jadi ini untuk membetulkan gaya yang jelek, susah untuk merubah kebiasaan yang sudah lama. Ya, jadi kita bisa mulai mengajarkan kebiasaan yang baru dan berharap kebiasaan yang baru itu lebih sering digunakan dengan berjalannya waktu. Jadi kebiasaan jeleknya bisa hilang.
Okay. And again, building new habits, it starts with the athlete. Okay. So again, we just need to focus on each athlete, what they're doing, and what they need to do to be better, how they can improve.
Ya, jadi memberikan kebiasaan yang baru itu tetap fokusnya harus sama atletnya. Apa yang perlu mereka lakukan, apa yang bisa membantu mereka untuk menjadi yang lebih baik.
So 9 ways to teach. Okay. Number 1 is just verbal feedback. Okay, good. Great job. Keep it up. That's right. Yay. Okay, verbal feedback helps with teaching and reinforcing good things or changing things that we don't like.
9 cara untuk mengajar yang pertama kasih feedback ya, kasih feedback. Misalnya anaknya bilangnya bagus, langsung ya bagus kamu, wah keren, ya kan? Kasih tepuk tangan, cheers.
Second one is overcorrection. And overcorrection, I think, in my opinion, is the least effective and probably now the least used way of teaching. But for me, I think about working with athletes in backstroke, maybe that come across their head. Okay, what we would do is have them enter as wide as they can. Okay, and so instead of having them feel this, they're feeling this. It's an overcorrection. Again, I don't think it's the most effective way of teaching, but it is one of the 9 ways of teaching via overcorrection.
Ya, yang nomor 2, overcorrection itu koreksi yang berlebihan ya. Misalnya tadi satu contohnya kayak punggung, tangannya crossing, disuruh tangannya selebar mungkin di samping. Ya nanti jadinya atletnya berenangnya bakalan lurus karena dia berasanya keluar sekali. Tapi itu bukan metode yang baik sih menurut coach, bukan metode yang termasuk yang baik, tapi masih digunakan sampai saat ini.
So our third way we call the verbal physical connection. So for my team back in Virginia, one of the things we really focus on in breaststroke is rounding that corner and shooting those hands forward. So our 6 and 7-year-olds, if you came to a practice, you would hear them shoot, 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 shoot. Okay, that's how we teach breaststroke. So they have that verbal cue in their head. When their hands get to here, we want them to shoot their hands forward as fast as possible. So verbal physical connection.
Yaitu contohkan secara fisik tapi dengan suara ya, kayak tadi dia bilang kayak dada, dia bilang pas recovery-nya disuruh kasih tahu shoot, jadi dia tahu bahwa itu harus cepat ke depannya, nggak pelan-pelan. Dan shoot itu akan dengar terus, dan itu juga salah satu metode yang baik untuk mengajarkan ke atlet.
Number 4, again, kinesthetic awareness. We talked about that, but that is actually physically touching the athlete, maneuvering them, having them do something you want them to do, and you are manipulating their body to do it. So again, we always ask permission. Felix, I'm gonna grab your arm. Now I'll grab his arm, and again, we're doing freestyle. We're thinking about getting that fingertips down, elbows up, catch. Okay, but I'm manipulating and moving his arm with my hands to get him where I want him to be.
Ya, nomor 4 tadi sama kayak tadi ya, kinestetik itu dengan bersentuhan tentunya harus izin dulu, ya, dibetulkan dengan memanipulasi otot tangannya supaya sesuai dengan apa yang kita mau.
Number 5, we talk about visual demonstrations and visual teaching. Okay, YouTube is great. You can log on, you can watch some of the best swimmers in the world. Okay, and they can teach you certain skills. Okay, visual teaching. How many people use this in practice?
Berapa banyak yang pakai handphone di latihan?
Yes, if you're not using it, use it. Okay,
Dipakai ya.
You can take video. You can have the kid come out, watch the video. Okay, instant video and visual feedback. Okay?
Oke, yang nomor 5, peragaan dan lihat ya, visual. Jadi tadi contohnya dari coach chat pakai handphonenya. Nggak ada salahnya kalian rekam, kan bisa di-delete lagi. Ya, direkam anaknya yang gayanya salah, direkam langsung disuruh naik, ditunjukin. Kamu tadi kayak begini nih, harusnya seperti apa? Misalnya, oh tangannya tadi kamu crossing, dia nggak berasa. Tapi ada buktinya gitu, dan itu akan lebih mempercepat anak untuk belajar.
And again, I'll get video and I'll find the opportunity to take video of Felix doing something right. Beautiful backstroke. I'll then text it to Felix so he has it, or I'll email it. And now he can watch that video all the time of him doing perfect, beautiful backstroke.
Ya, jadi bisa juga ada anak yang gayanya bagus, itu di video, terus dikirimin ke anak yang gayanya jelek. Supaya si anak yang gayanya belum bagus tadi ngeliatin terus gaya-gaya tersebut, dilihat-lihat terus, nanti dia akan bisa berubah.
Excellent. Number 6, listening to feedback. Okay. I think there's really good feedback, hopefully, that we are providing as coaches. Splits. Okay. Hopefully, after every race, when your athletes get out of the pool, you have splits for them. They should know their goal splits before the race and be able to compare them with their actual splits after the race. Stroke counts, stroke rates. These are all things that you can do at a swim meet to provide athletes with good feedback as soon as they come over and talk to you after the race.
Ya, yang ke-6 itu mendengarkan atletnya ya. Jadi kita harus kasih masukan kepada atletnya setelah lomba. Biasanya kita bisa kasih atas splitnya, ya kan, stroke count-nya, dan macam-macam yang bisa kita kasih pada saat itu untuk mereka bisa langsung dapat masukan dari lombanya.
Excellent. All right. Number 7, self-feedback. I always love when I visit Southeast Asia and the Caribbean and some of these places where there's sun year-round. Use the sun to your advantage. Shadows are a great way to teach, especially younger athletes. Okay? Go out on the pool deck, have them do a breaststroke pull out, and have them watch their shadow right in front of them. Okay? Watch. Mirrors. Okay? Sometimes mirrors can be really good. You can stand there, you can be fully clothed, and you can work on that freestyle catch in front of the mirror. Okay? But self-feedback, you can watch and see through things like mirrors and shadows, things like that. Very valuable.
Ya, yang nomor 7 itu adalah masukan untuk diri sendiri. Itu biasanya belajarnya kalau di Asia Tenggara itu kita diperuntungkan karena ada sinar matahari. Cuman kita kadang-kadang latihannya nggak siang ya. Tapi kalau latihan pas udah ada sinar matahari, biasanya si anak bisa melihat bayangannya di bawah, di dasar kolam. Ya, apakah cukup tarikannya, atau yang kedua yaitu dengan kaca. Kaca biasanya juga bisa, tapi di darat ya, untuk kita lihat apakah stroke kita betul atau sudah elbow seperti apa rasanya. Jadi kaca dan bayangan. Cek. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Mohon izin bertanya lagi. Jadi untuk tadi perbaikan teknik ya, di mana selama kita latihan itu kita selalu perhatikan dan fokuskan pada teknik dan waktu. Tapi menjelang kita masa pertandingan, kita masuk masa pertandingan itu masih oke, waktu latihan oke, tekniknya itu bagus. Tapi pas lagi warming up, lagi mau pertandingan, itu ada perubahan. Sedangkan kita kan ada berapa paham bahwa ketika lagi lomba, lagi bertanding, kita jangan berpikir lagi untuk merubah
teknik karena bisa mengganggu perform anak. Tapi karena pelatih itu pengen ideal dan pengen bagus, apakah itu berpengaruh juga bagaimana? Untuk supaya anak itu tetap perform bagus, tapi stroke yang dapat gitu, stroke-nya dapat. Gitu. Terima kasih.
That sounded like a good question.
Okay, the question is, usually coaches fix the stroke, right, during the practice and go toward the big competition, let's see, big competition. Still, the kids still doing good all the way until the tapering, but when they do the warm-up before the race, the coach notice something, it's back to their old habit, and what should they do? Like, because the belief is you don't change anything before the race. So, what do you think about it?
So, I think that depends on the meet, what level swimmer they are. If they're young swimmers, I would focus on teaching the skill no matter what. If we're talking about Felix getting ready for the Olympic final, that's a little bit different. But the younger they are, the more you should focus on fixing and changing the habit. That's more important than any race they're going to do and any meet. Yeah, I think it depends on the age of the athlete, the meet they're at, and so on and so forth. I always would much rather see them focus on doing the technical skills right at the younger age, rather than worried about what place they finish or what times they go. So yeah.
Oke ya, jadi jawabannya adalah tergantung pada usianya. Kalau usianya masih muda, fokusnya harus tetap perbaikan, bukan lagi kecepatan hasilnya. Tapi semakin muda, semakin harus cepat dikoreksi supaya itu nggak menjadi kesalahan yang makin salah nantinya. Jadi beda fokusnya. Tapi kalau untuk yang udah senior ya sebaiknya nanti jadi koreksi setelahnya.
Jadi jangan memaksakan gitu ya, ketika kesalahan itu perbaiki langsung, jangan langsung diperbaiki, jangan. Langsung.
Pada saat pemanasan langsung dikasih tahu.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so number 8, we're talking about dry land practice. Okay, again, I think there's a myth that you have to get in the water in order to swim faster. I think there's a lot of things you can do on dry land. Okay, Finis, they make a hand paddle that's attached to a bungee. Okay, just work on the catch here. Okay, butterfly catch, something like that.
Butterfly.
There are all sorts of dry land exercises you can do that help implement technical skills into the dry land activity. But again, don't feel like you have to be in the water to work on technique. You can certainly work on dry land.
Ya, jadi ini latihan darat ya. Latihan darat juga bisa memperkuat teknik atlet-atlet kita. Ya, finish jual pedal yang ada talinya itu ya, stretch cord itu bisa melatih teknik di darat. Jadi tidak harus di dalam air.
So, and then lastly, vivid imagery. Okay, this is really important with younger athletes. Okay, but for instance, again, when I teach younger children, 6, 7, 8-year-olds about breaststroke, I'll talk about getting a scoop of ice cream, put it in your mouth. Okay, scooping that ice cream, put it in your mouth. We'll talk about in butterfly. Okay, when you get that breath, you want to extend like a giraffe, have a long neck like a giraffe. Flutter kick, freestyle kick. We talk about making the water boil, so it looks like the water is boiling. So think about ways you can describe a technical skill or something in swimming in a way where it's very vivid imagery. Again, younger children nowadays, at least in the United States, they really thrive on this vivid imagery type teaching.
Oke, yang paling terakhir itu imajinasi yang nyata ya. Jadi tadi contohnya adalah pada saat gaya dada, Coach Chad ngajarin untuk menyendok
Ngambil.
es krim dimasukin ke mulut. Jadi stroke-nya kayak gini. Ya, atau kayak kupu tadi lehernya dipanjangin kayak jerapah misalnya. Pada saat dia ngambil napas, dipanjangin kayak jerapah waktu mau napasnya. Ya, jadi nggak naik tapi nyodok ke depan misalnya. Jadi cara mengajarin juga efektif untuk anak-anak.
Okay, and again, just important that we're telling athletes what to do, what not to do. I know we've covered that. Okay, positive coaching, positive words that tell athletes what to do, not what not to do.
Oke, ini jadi dengan kata-kata ya, yang positif dalam mengajar, ya kata-kata ya untuk apa yang boleh dilakukan dan apa yang tidak boleh dilakukan.
Again, that's basic verbal feedback. Overcorrection, okay? Show them what is correct. Show them what they're doing incorrectly, then ask them to overcorrect. Again, ASCA thinks this is a very commonly used teaching technique. Coach Chad does not like overcorrecting. I think that is not as beneficial to kids nowadays.
Ya, ini overcorrect itu kebetulan yang berlebihan ya. Jadi biasanya anak disuruh lihat apa yang benar, terus lihatin apa yang mereka lakukan tidak benar, terus minta mereka untuk melakukan yang berlebihan, betul. Jadi misalnya disuruh elbow-nya yang berlebihan gitu. Ya, ini ASCA percaya bahwa metode ini masih banyak yang menggunakan, tapi kalau Coach Chad ya nggak setuju dengan metode ini.
Okay, verbal physical connection again. So in butterfly, your head disappears when your hips appear. What we would say is head down, hips up. Head down, hips up. Okay, shoot those hands forward and breaststroke. Again, if you can say it, you greatly increase the chance of doing it. Verbal physical connection.
Ya, suara dengan peragaan ya. Yang tadi ini salah satu contohnya tadi waktu gaya kupu kepalanya turun, pinggulnya naik misalnya. Ingetin, kepala turun, pinggul naik, kepala turun, pinggul naik. Kemudian tadi yang gaya dada juga kan, ada shoot-nya, ada tembakan ke depannya pada saat recovery. Itu diingatin dan diperagakan.
Okay, kinesthetic teaching, we said, we always ask permission. Okay, but we're using our hands to teach, manipulate, and adjust the bodies of the athletes.
Ya, ini yang kinestetik tadi ya, yang touching ya, bersentuhan, selalu ingat, selalu minta permisi dulu, selalu permisi, kemudian hanya menyentuh seperlunya saja.
Okay, demonstrations, again, YouTube is great. Look at one thing. So again, when we watch Michael Phelps, we're not going to just say, hey, look at his butterfly. We're going to say, hey, look at his hips. Look how he gets those hips up on top of the water. Look at one specific skill at a time when you're watching video, especially of elite level athletes.
Ya, ini dengan demonstrasi dan cara mengajar dengan melihat tadi ya, dengan YouTube kita jangan seperti pelatih yang ini lihat nih Michael Phelps berenangnya seperti ini, tapi kita harus spesifik. Kamu lihat tangannya pada saat Michael Phelps berenang, tangannya seperti apa, entry-nya misalnya, cukup satu persatu. Ya jangan langsung disuruh lihat, suruh nyontoh. Pasti nggak akan bisa.
Again, feedback, we talked about stroke rates, stroke counts, splits. Okay.
Ya ini yang baik tadi ya, stroke rate sudah tahu semuanya di sini ya, stroke count, split, semuanya penting ya.
Okay, self-feedback, mirrors, shadows. Again, we talked about this.
Ya ini udah dibicarakan tadi.
Okay, dry land. Again, you don't have to be in the water, you don't have to get wet. Okay, things like stretch cords, shadows. Again, you can combine kinesthetic teaching while doing dry land teaching. It's just something that we're trying to think of creative, new, and different ways to teach what we need to teach. So don't get caught in this idea that you have to be in the water to teach. You can do it on dry land.
Ya ini tadi sudah dibicarakan ya, jadi kita bisa melakukan pembetulan teknik di darat dengan bantuan alat-alat dan ya, ini efektif. Jadi jangan punya pemikiran bahwa latihan renang itu harus di dalam air. Sometimes kita bisa lakukan di darat.
All right. So we talked about vivid imagery. Again, good old Michael Phelps. The butterfly on the breath, you extend your neck like a giraffe, and then after the breath, you bring your head in like a turtle. So what we say is giraffe, turtle, giraffe, turtle,
Ada pemahaman
giraffe, turtle.
bahwa untuk yang
Okay.
putih tidak boleh ke depan,
Again,
tapi harus.
vivid imagery,
Jadi sini pandangan ke
very
bawah.
effective when you're
bahkan
working
lebih
with
baik kayak
younger
dada. Pemahaman seperti itu.
athletes.
Ya ini untuk tadi udah dibicarain ya, imajinasi yang nyata itu tadi kalau pas napas Michael Phelps kepalanya dipanjangin seperti jerapah, pada saat kepalanya masuk disuruh masukin kayak kura-kura. Jadi akhirnya ya bilang itu jerapah kura-kura, jerapah kura-kura, supaya mereka ingat.
All right. So then we got 2 to go here. We'll talk about yes, lesson plans, creating a safe and productive lesson plan. So when it comes to writing a workout, for me, this is Quest. This is our team logo. Very simple, 2 rules. Number 1, everybody is safe. Nobody gets hurt. Nobody gets injured. We do everything we can to create a safe environment. And number 2, in our workouts, everyone is getting better. That's the goal. I try and keep it as simple as possible. Everyone gets better, and no one gets hurt.
Ya ini cara membuat program ya, ada 2 aturan. Yang pertama nggak ada yang cedera, dan yang kedua semuanya harus jadi lebih baik. Okay.
Again, the importance is having a plan. Okay? Safety, knowing the rules. We all have pool rules. Follow the pool rules. If there's a lifeguard on duty, the lifeguard is in charge. Okay? Safety is something you cannot compromise whatsoever. So, my opinion, as a coach, you have a duty and a responsibility to do 8 primary things. Safe environment. Again, we've talked about it quite a bit. Supervise athletes. Okay. Warn of any dangers. We'll talk about starts, things like that. Okay. We want to make sure that we have a controlled environment when we do starts. We want to teach, instruct. Teaching is the most important part of being a swim coach. We want to provide emergency care if needed. We want to avoid injuries through pre-injury health care if possible, foresee potentially dangerous circumstances and situations, okay? If you're doing a hypoxic set, a breath holding set, okay, you should be aware as a coach, all right, I need to make sure that I'm telling them exactly what I want them to do. B, I'm explaining very thoroughly the dangers of holding your breath. And C, I'm going to watch them, make sure they're all doing it correctly. That is not the time to go to the bathroom. And then lastly, always have a plan. I can't stress that enough. Okay, if you do not have a plan, you're planning to fail. In my opinion.
Oke, ini jadi tanggung jawab ya. Tugas dan tanggung jawab kita sebagai pelatih, kita pertama pasti menyediakan lingkungan yang aman. Tadi udah dibicarakan. Kedua, kita harus mengawasi anak-anak itu. Ketiga kita harus mengingatkan mereka kan bahayanya di olahraga ini. Ya. Contohnya tadi kalau mau latihan start atau naik ke start block, hati-hati bisa kepleset misalnya. Kemudian memberikan instruksi, yaitu mengajar yang paling penting. Kemudian menyiapkan keselamatan ya, kayak kotak keselamatan gitu untuk emergency. Kemudian kalau bisa nomor 6 ini dilakukan juga untuk bawasannya. Kemudian nomor 7 pada saat kita harus tahu bahayanya dalam kita menyuruh anak-anak kita melakukan sesuatu, misalnya kayak hypoxia tadi. Hypoxia itu kan tahan napas ya. Pada saat tahan napas kita harus tahu bahwa kalau mereka maksa banget mereka bisa pingsan. Jadi itu kita harus sadar, baru kita nomor 8-nya baru kita membuat perencanaan program.
Okay, when we talk about supervision, again, having a plan, cannot stress that enough. Okay, you provide instruction. You have a clearly defined stop signal. Usually that's the lifeguard that is determining that. Again, supervise. Understand that the role of the coach is not just to coach. It's to maintain safety, supervise, make sure everyone is getting out of the pool as healthy as they got into the pool.
Oke, kemudian di sini pada saat perencanaan kita harus tahu ya bahwa kita sebagai pelatih kita harus siap untuk bukan cuma hadir sebagai pelatih atau memberikan program, tapi kita juga harus memperhatikan keselamatan para atlet-atlet kita. Ya, pada saat mereka masuk ke dalam air, juga pada saat mereka semua keluar meninggalkan kolam, itu kita harus penuh dengan pengawasan.
Okay, very simply, as a coach, make sure you are the one in charge. You are the one making sure that safety is number one. Okay, rule number 1, plain and simple. Safety, safety, safety.
Ya, aturan pertama ya gampang, yang penting adalah keselamatan atlet-atlet kita.
Okay, so we've covered rule number 1. Everyone maintains safety. Let's talk about rule number 2, which is a little bit more fun. Everybody gets better. Okay, how do they get better? Do they get better by accident? Sure, sometimes that happens. Do they get better by luck? Certainly, that happens. Okay, sometimes they get better just because they grow 6 inches, or they start to get muscles. Okay, I want the reason they get better to be because of the plan that I had, that I worked with them to establish, and that we together came up with to help them be the best athletes they can be. That's what I want, is a plan to come to fruition.
Oke, aturan pertama tadi keselamatan ya. Kalau itu udah ada, baru kita masuk ke aturan nomor 2, semua akan jadi lebih baik atlet-atlet kita ya. Itu gimana caranya atlet kita bisa jadi lebih baik? Pertama, ya nggak sengaja ya terjadi. Kemudian yang kedua, ya memang keberuntungan. Ya kita bisa nemuin atlet yang beruntung lah, tiba-tiba bisa kencang misalnya. Ketiga, mungkin dia masa pertumbuhan, biasanya dia juga bisa maju ya namanya. Tapi yang dimauin coach Chat adalah kita punya rencana program untuk membuat anak-anak ini maju. Itu yang paling penting.
So level 3, we're going to spend a lot of time talking about planning workouts, the energy systems, all that fun stuff. Okay? But it's very important that you have a plan. If there's anything you are hearing me say right now, please have a plan. Have a plan, have a plan, have a plan. Okay? Your plan should have your objectives, your daily objectives, your weekly objectives, your season objectives. Okay? Have your purpose for what you're doing, why you're doing it. Have a plan. For me, if you want to know what we did on April 17th, 2006, I can find that workout for you in about 30 minutes. I've got a huge box filled with notebooks for every season that I've ever coached, every workout that I've ever coached. And at that workout, I can tell you who was there. I can tell you if we were long course, short course. I can tell you what we were getting ready for, how many days until our championship meet, who was at practice, who wasn't at practice, who had a great practice, who had a bad practice. For me, writing that information down is key, super important for me. So again, I have these notebooks. I can go back and I can see any practice that you ever want to see that I've ever coached.
Ya, jadi rencana programnya paling efektif dicatat ya, dicatat apa rencana program apa dalam program mingguan, program harian, program musim-musiman misalnya ya, dan itu dicatat secara spesifik. Coach Chat bilang kalau kita minta latihan di klubnya pada tahun 14 April 2006 misalnya, dia bisa cari program itu, dia bisa tahu apa yang dijalankan, dia bisa tahu siapa yang renangnya bagus dan siapa yang renangnya jelek pada hari itu. Nah, dia simpan semua catatannya di dalam buku kecil seperti ini.
My question is, anyone have a similar routine for their workouts? Does anyone keep a notebook? Does anyone keep a computer, Excel spreadsheet, anything like that?
Ada nggak yang melakukan apa yang dilakukan Coach Chat? Jadi dicatat di buku boleh atau di komputer atau di handphone, tapi kalian punya rekornya semua. Ada?
Very, very good. Very good. My hope is that more of you will do this. At least try it for an extended amount of time. I think you'll see that there are lots of rewards, lots of good things that come about from it.
Ya, diharapkan oleh Coach Chat banyak dari kita yang melakukan hal itu ya, karena itu penting sekali dan pasti kita akan dapat manfaatnya.
Okay. So we're going to move through this pretty quickly. Lesson plan. Okay. Ideally, what you want to do is take that day, figure out how much time you have, and then assign a skill or a set or something to each amount of time. So for instance, okay, this right here, this is an 80-minute practice. They divide it up into 8 10-minute blocks. That's just what they did. Tuesday was a 25-minute practice, 2 12-minute blocks. This is taking the idea of planning and taking it a little bit further than I think is necessary. But again, the important thing is having a plan.
Ya, penting sekali punya perencanaan dalam membuat program. Ya, tadi ada contohnya, misalnya hari Senin, kita punya waktu 80 menit latihan. Ya, 1 jam 20 menit misalnya. Nah, itu kita ada 8 set acara yang per acara sekitar 10 menit. Jadi sangat penting, misalnya Selasa cuma 25 menit, dia bagi jadi 2 set, 12 menit per satu program. Jadi ini sangat penting untuk menyiapkan rencana latihan.
Lastly, I'll say this about plans. Plans are flexible. So if you went back with me and went into this big box, we pulled out notebooks, you would see things crossed out. You'd see we started out doing 12 rounds of this set, but we ended up doing 8 instead. We wanted to do, X rounds of this set, but we want a different number. You may see where I just put an X through the whole practice and I send everybody home. So the key is there's flexibility in your plans, but you have a plan to start with.
Ya, untuk dalam pembuatan rencana ini tidak harus solid ya, kita bisa lihat harus fleksibel, jadi kita nggak harus dijalankan. Kalau Coach Chat bilang beliau, kalau kamu tanya ada di note-nya dia, di catatannya dia bahwa ada acara yang tadinya ditulis sama dia 16 bisa jalan cuma 8, atau acara yang 12 bisa jalan cuma 6. Ya, dengan kondisi atletnya. Bahkan ada yang sama sekali nggak dijalankan, dicoret, kemudian anak-anaknya dipulangin. Karena memang kondisinya nggak memungkinkan untuk menjalankan acara latihan itu.
So again, when we're coming up with a plan, we want to have progressions. Progressions are very important. We're going to talk about adaptation and what that means later. But I think when we're talking about little kids, especially, we want to see a progression. We want to go from A to B. So here are just a variety of different drills that we have. And it starts with a very simple bobbing, gets down to freestyle swimming. Okay, but the important thing that I hope you're seeing is a progression, a daily progression, a weekly progression, a monthly progression.
Ya, dalam mengajar yang penting adalah ada perbaikan, ya, ada progresnya. Ya, jadi itu yang harus ditekankan. Ya, ini mungkin pertama mulainya bukan dari langsung berenang, itu ada contoh-contohnya, tapi mulai dari bobbing itu napas ya, bubble, ya kan. Mulai dari situ kemudian kaki, ya, dan berlanjut ke seterusnya ke bawah.
Okay. Some important things to remember when you are riding a practice: the different abilities in the group, the number of lanes you have, what you want to accomplish, the number of coaches on the pool deck. Again, we can talk about 20 different things. The important thing is you're aware of what that practice looks like, and you have a plan. I know you're sick of hearing it. You have a plan for what that practice entails.
Oke, dalam merencanakan atau mencatat rencana latihannya, ya, ini yang paling penting harus tahu. Tadi udah kita bahas ya, udah tahu kemampuan dari grup kita, kemudian berapa lintasan yang kita bisa gunakan, ya, kemudian apa yang kita mau untuk mereka capai dalam setiap latihan, ya, terus berapa pengawasnya, pelatih-pelatih yang mendampingi atlet-atlet itu, kalau jumlahnya besar, pelatihnya cukup atau tidak.
All right, I'll let you, we're going to move on from this pretty quickly, but basically these are some skills that we want our novice athletes to work on. Okay, again, this is kind of a novice program. We divide everything into 12-minute blocks. We have different skills that we're working on each day. Again, we have a plan. It's not so much what's in the plan that I want you to think about, it's the plan itself that is important.
Ya, ini adalah salah satu contoh dalam bagian dalam membuat program latihan. Ini kalau kita lihat di situ, ya udah tahu bahwa ada 12 menit di awal yang mereka lakukan ini, tapi ini hanya rencana. Tidak harus seperti ini, tapi at least kita paling tidak kita punya rencana ini.
Okay, when you're talking about older athletes, 9 to 12-year-olds, okay, this is some things you want them to be thinking about. I'm going to move through it pretty quickly. You have it in your notes. And again, this is the exact same thing I've already shown you, so we're going to move forward. This is when we're talking with, these are not novice, these are now age group athletes. Again, have a plan. It's not so much about what the plan is, it's that you have an idea of what you're doing each day.
Ya, jadi ini tadi contohnya ya, apa yang dilakukan, ini adalah rencana. Ya, berapa menit, 15 menitan semua tuh apa yang mesti dilakukan setiap hari. Jadi ada catatan seperti ini.
Okay. So again, we talked earlier about the importance of having lanes, separating different groups. Extremely important. Okay. Very, very challenging. I know sometimes it has to happen, but having an 8-year-old doing the same workout as a 13-year-old, it's very challenging. Okay. Ideally, you want to arrange the athletes by age and ability and have a different workout for each group. Okay? It might be more work for you, but it is so much better for the athletes and their continued growth and development.
Oke, ini dengan perencanaan kita harus bisa bagi ya antara anak ini tadi kita sudah bicarakan berapa lintasan, berapa grup. Kadang-kadang kita memang harus latihan, harus ada penggabungan latihan, misalnya kita nggak cukup harus gabungkan anak-anak umur 8 tahun latihan dengan umur 13 tahun. Ya, tapi kalau sebaiknya kita bisa menggolong-golongkan mereka dengan latihan-latihan yang berbeda yang sesuai dengan umur usia.
Kemampuannya.
All right. Last topic we're going to talk about. We spend so much time as coaches worried about our athletes. We want them to succeed. We want them to achieve. We want them to do things that we know they're capable of doing. Many times that happens at the expense of the coach and their well-being. We are up early. We're usually awake into the evenings. We're very busy on the weekends. We are usually underpaid. Okay? We work very, very hard as swim coaches. It's important that we think about our well-being as well. We have a whole section. It's a short section, but we're going to talk about the coach well-being. I think that's something new. I know ASCA is really making a push. Don't forget about yourself, your health, and your well-being.
Ya, jadi ini yang topik terakhir kita, yaitu tentang diri kita sendiri, di mana kita menjadikan diri kita juga lebih baik ya. Sebagai pelatih, fokus kita selama ini yang kita bicarakan pasti gimana caranya atlet kita jadi bagus ya, gimana mereka lebih maju berenangnya, gimana apakah mereka cukup istirahatnya, kita komunikasi seperti itu. Tapi kita juga perlu memperhatikan diri kita sendiri ya. Banyak kan masalah di kita ini. Coach tadi ada yang kemungkinan kita kurang tidur, kita terlalu sibuk di malam minggu ya kan, mungkin ada lomba yang menyita waktu kita, mungkin keluarga kita minta jalan-jalan, mungkin gaji kita kecil, banyak sekali masalah-masalah yang harus kita perhatikan juga sebagai pelatih.
How many people have ever felt like this picture before?
Berapa banyak pelatih yang merasa seperti di gambar ini?
Yeah. So, our our mental and physical well-being are extremely important as coaches. Okay, we are better coaches when we take care of ourselves. The three key things that we need to talk about are sleep, nutrition, and exercise.
Ya, jadi kita sebagai pelatih kalau kita benar-benar terpelihara dengan baik ya, kalau itu kita terpelihara dengan baik sebagai pelatih, kita pasti melatihnya lebih baik. Ya, ada 3 poin yang harus diperhatikan. Pertama, kita harus tidurnya cukup, nutrisinya cukup, ya, kemudian kita harus olahraga. Nah ini, I don't think they do it.
All right, so sleep. 95% of the world's population, the entire world, requires 6 to 9 hours of sleep in order to function at its highest level. There's always 1 or 2 people that raise their hands and say, I only need 3 hours, 4 hours of sleep, I'm fine. That's great. You're a part of the 5% of the world that can do that. I'm not. I need my 7, usually 7 or 8 hours. Okay? The importance is you recognize how rest is important and how you need sleep. And I know you're going to get sick of me saying it, but have a plan. Yes, you should have a plan every night. I'm going to bed by this time. I know tomorrow's going to be an early morning. I got to get to bed by 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock.
Oke ya, tidur ini dari survei 90% dari populasi membutuhkan 6-8 jam tidur. Ya memang banyak, ini untuk agar otak kita bisa berfungsi dengan maksimal, ya, dan paling bagus. Memang ada orang yang cuma bisa tidur 3-4 jam tapi nggak masalah, ya itu cuma 5%. Ya kan, kalau kita seharusnya harus tidur paling tidak 7 jam. Nah, di bawah ada lagi tuh, kita harus merencanakan tidur kita. Kita bangun subuh, tidurnya mesti jam berapa. Penting buat pelatih ya.
So let's go ahead and do it. Who is in the 5% who can operate successfully with less than 6 hours of sleep?
Siapa yang ada di 5% yang tidurnya nggak sampai 6 jam tapi bisa bekerja dengan maksimal? Ada nggak di sini? Angkat tangan.
There we go. There's always a few.
Pasti ada ya.
If I could sleep 10 hours a night, I would.
I would also. Jadi kalau saya bisa tidur 10 jam ya saya pasti mau tidur 10 jam.
All right. Nutrition. I know this is funny having an old fat guy talk to you about nutrition. Okay? But for nutrition, it's important as coaches. We're eating 3 meals a day. One of those meals may be a snack, but you don't skip meals. You don't skip opportunities to give yourself energy. Some things to avoid. Again, when I use the word avoid, I mean do it on a very limited basis. Avoid fast food. Avoid sugar. Avoid high-fat foods. Okay? Be a good example for your athletes. You're a role model. When it comes to, I have seen coaches who are on the pool deck coaching their athletes while they smoke a cigarette. I think that's silly. Fruits and veggies, it was great to see such a great nutritious lunch today. Energy drinks, we're going to talk about those. They're horrible. And then moderation is key. There's nothing wrong with having cake and cookies and ice cream. Okay, just have it in moderation. And again, you're going to get sick of me saying it, but have a plan. Have a plan.
Oke, ini tentang nutrisi ya. Kita harus makan 3 kali dalam sehari, kalau bisa enggak dilewatin. Ya memang tadi Coach Chad bilang lucu, dia perutnya gendut kok ngomongin tentang nutrisi. Tapi ini adalah yang perlu dilakukan ya. yang perlu tadi kedua itu hindari makanan fast food ya, tapi hindari itu bukan berarti dilarang ya, tapi dilakukan di seminimal mungkin. Kemudian hindari gula, ini penting guys ya, gula itu jahat banget, mendingan merokok daripada makan gula. Kemudian hindari makan lemak-lemak ya, hindari makan lemak-lemak. Kemudian nah ini jadi contoh untuk atlet-atletnya, ini semua penting karena kita harus kasih contoh ke atlet-atlet. Jangan seperti yang coach Chat tadi bilang, sambil mati merokok di samping kolam. Ya tunggu dulu lah sampai selesai dulu, ya kan. Terus makanan, buah-buahan dan sayuran penting sekali, nutrisi. Energy drink nanti akan dibahas sama coach Chat di salah satu sesi. Hindari. Kalau itu kalau bisa benar-benar dihindari ya. Nah kemudian modernization itu kayak makan-makan ya, cake apa gitu ya. Bukannya nggak boleh, tapi sesekali nggak masalah. Dan yang paling terakhir ada perencanaan.
Rencanakan makan yang enak.
Ada energy drink di sini banyak yang minum nggak? Kayak ya Red Bull atau Krating Deng.
Jarang.
For the coaches ya, I think that will make them awake.
There you go.
Kalau untuk atlet jangan ya. Krating.
Jangan.
Enggak
All right. So we've talked about sleep. We've talked about food. Now let's talk about exercise. Again, getting movement, walking, getting your heart rate up, getting sweaty. Those are all very important. Okay. I think when you have a partner, someone that you can keep each other accountable for. So for us, my coaching staff, I have a workout buddy, but he and I will do something each day to get a little workout in. Work out with your staff. Sometimes I'll put in my earphones, I'll take a phone call, and I'll do some walking. Or if I have a coach who says, hey, we need to talk, I'll say, can you walk with me? And we'll go and we'll walk a mile or two. Take breaks. When you're working, take breaks. Your brain needs a break. Go for a walk, hop in the water, go for a swim. My office, I'm very fortunate, my office is about 15 feet from the pool. So every now and then, if it's a beautiful day, I'll just take a break, turn off my phone, hop in the water, swim a 2K, I'll hop out, I feel so much better. Okay? Again, so many things you can do, swim, yoga, walking, running. The key is you're active, you're exercising, you're doing something to stimulate your body. And again, have a plan for exercise and where it fits into your daily schedule.
Oke, yang ketiga ini ya, olahraga sangat penting ya. Kita bisa olahraga bersama-sama dengan teman-teman kita, pelatih-pelatih yang melatih bersama-sama dengan kita. Kemudian coach Chat tadi bilang dia pada saat ada yang mau ketemu dia, bisa nggak kita ngobrol sambil jalan? Ya juga olahraga, sambil nelfon misalnya, sambil jalan. Terus kita butuh untuk istirahat, ya kita butuh istirahat. Kita udah kerja, otak kita butuh istirahat. Nah kebetulan coach Chat tadi cerita kantornya dia cuma sangat dekat dengan kolam, jadi dia pada saat dia ada waktu untuk istirahat 15 menit dia bisa berenang tuh, tinggal jalan, nyebur, berenang, naik lagi. Tapi bisa lakukan apa aja olahraganya. Kalau nggak suka berenang, ya
jangan ngelatih renang.
Bosen berenang, kan biasanya bosen berenang bisa lakukan yang lainnya, misalnya lari, sepeda, jalan, yoga, dan lain-lain. Dan yang paling terakhir tetap harus punya perencanaan.
Excellent. I think, oh yes, you are the best coach you can be when you are healthy, well-rested, relaxed, and focused. So take care of yourself, take care of your body. Okay, I think it's silly that as coaches, we challenge our athletes to be as healthy and to perform at the highest level. And so many times we make poor decisions and poor choices, and we can't operate at the highest level. So please take care of yourself.
Ya, jadi berarti Anda akan menjadi pelatih terbaik, ya, pada saat Anda sehat, ya, istirahatnya cukup dan cukup rileks dan bisa fokus. Ya, jadi jangan sampai kadang-kadang kita membuat suatu keputusan atau suatu program yang salah cuma gara-gara badan kita ini nggak sehat. Jadi kita perlu pelihara badan kita, bukan cuma kita harus jaga atletnya ya, tapi kita sebagai pelatih kita juga harus jaga badan kita.
Excellent. Thank you guys very, very much. So
Terima
the
kasih.
key is the foundation. You have a foundation now. Now we can build upon it with level 2, level 3, and we can be the best coaches we can possibly be. Thank you guys.
Kalian udah punya fondasi tadi yang dibicarakan, dan Anda sudah siap untuk level 2 dan level 3. Terima
Okay,
kasih.
see you next time.
This is actually an old picture of me